In the advent of Property Video 101, my video online course that teaches you how to do real estate videos being released, I wanted to touch on some different purposes of real estate videos and what they are for and what they aren't for. If you've seen videos like this one, then chances are your videos don't look like this. And that's totally fine. It's not that big of a deal. So videos like this serve a very specific purpose, and in most cases, don't really do what property videos set out to accomplish. Now, instead of your property videos looking like that, maybe they look like this, which is one of my property videos. And sure, while they're not the most incredible thing, they get the job done. And the ideal point of these property videos is, yes, you want to spice it up a little bit. Yes, you want it to look really nice, but by and large, it's specifically to sell the house. So it fills a specific need in the pipeline of getting someone interested in the property and then actually having them like reach out or schedule a showing or whatever. The initial bump of like how most properties are found nowadays will be like social media. They'll see a quick walkthrough, or they'll see like a little vertical slideshow or something like that, and then they'll get intrigued, and then they'll see a link to the full property video on YouTube or something like that. And then if they're interested, they go and they click and they watch the entire property video. Then from the property video, if they like what they see, the full layout of the property in a way that is digestible, it looks nice, and they can get a clear understanding of more of the details of the house. Then they'll go on the property page, they'll look at the photos, they might ultimately reach out to the realtor and then schedule a showing for the house. But what happens when you kind of lean more heavily into these more hyped up property videos like Future Avenue or Eric Davidson, I think his name is, and they're all good. Like, don't get me wrong, they're great, they're really, really exciting, but what can happen is if you're not paying Daniel Bertolo $4,000 or $5,000 for his program, which literally just teaches you how to film property videos just like he does, that's all well and good, but if you're not doing that, then you can start to feel like your quality is somehow less than, or your videos aren't as good. And sure, from a strictly like objective point of view, yeah, maybe your videos and my videos aren't as good as the stuff, these sort of more hype videos. But I'd argue that in terms of most real estate, most single family dwellings that are for sale that you will be doing videos for, they're not going to look like that. Those houses are very specific, custom-built houses that want to be showcased in a very specific way. They're really, really big, so you can, shoot from one side of the ginormous living room all the way to the open floor plan, kitchen with an 85 millimeter, and it still looks like you're shooting a wide-angle lens. These houses are very, very specific. This type of video wouldn't do really well in your average 15 to 2,000 square feet, like 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, single family, 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, or 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, whatever. For most purposes, these hype videos aren't going to do anything to sell the property. They might like garner some interest and be like, wow, that's a really cool property video. Look at all those cool edits. But that's all it's going to be. Whereas if someone who's actually interested in purchasing a house, they are actually a potential buyer of a property, and they see one of those hype videos, they're gonna be like, okay, that was a bunch of really close-up shots of things I'm not really that interested in, and then they'll move on to the next thing. So those videos are good at garnering attention, shares, getting followers, building brand awareness, sure, but they don't do much to actually sell a property. Unless it's like a luxury thing and they're custom built houses and they're getting, two different types of property videos, where one is more of the hype version, which for all intents and purposes is a trailer to a feature film, essentially. It's to get you hyped up and be like, oh, I want to see more of this house. And then the actual feature length property video, which is a tour that agents can share with potential buyers, is slower, it's smoother. It goes like it just goes room by room to showcase an entire property. Maybe there's an agent narration or something like that. I don't want you to get discouraged when you're seeing property videos like this and then comparing them to yours, because it's not, for all intents and purposes, the purpose of a property video. Like, that style of video is very much this is what's in on social media, so we've stopped filming it vertically and started filming it horizontally to get a lot of views on YouTube and then sell a course. Like that, I've talked to Daniel Bertolo a bunch of times on the phone. He's a really cool guy. I really respect what he's doing. But in his niche, it works. In most people's niche of regular single family dwellings that they're shooting, a full marketing package for, those hype videos aren't gonna turn out as good. Even if a home is professionally staged and it looks super nice, it's still not gonna do the job. So when learning property videos, like in Property Video 101, for instance, there's a bunch of different types of videos that I teach you how to do. So there's the first one, which is a basic one, which is just filmed with your phone. There's no movement whatsoever. You just go to the extreme corners and you push in, and then you go to that corner and you pull back or whatever. It's very, very simple. And then the second one is a little bit more advanced. So then those are like the walking zoom transitions. So you can get sort of fancy with it as long as it doesn't detract from the purpose of the video, which is to showcase the property for sale. Because again, there's two different types of audiences. There's, wow, that's a really cool edit, I want to learn how to do that. Or rather, there's a few. There's that person. Then there's the, wow, this looks really cool, I'm going to share it. Or like, wow, what a beautiful house. And then there's the third audience, which is like, I want to see more of the house itself. Like I've only seen like really narrow things of, really cool architecture in the house, sure, but like I didn't get a clear view of the outside. I don't have a good idea of what the entire property's flow and outline is. So they're not gonna, like, that video might get their attention to seek out more information, but the time has already been wasted, if that makes sense. But back to the property video course. So there's the really, really basic one, and then slightly more advanced, which does more movements, shows you how to do zoom transitions and film those, all that sort of stuff, do reveal shots still with an iPhone. And then we get into a professional real estate property video, which is done with my Sony a7S III, which I'm filming on right now. It's, for all intents and purposes, my main camera. And then that goes into a little bit more of the fancy way of filmings, like the reveal shots, whether it's behind a, like you saw in those types of videos where they're starting behind a wall and then they reveal, they're in manual focus, so the thing that they're revealing is always going to be in focus. Like, then we'll go over all that. But what I don't want to have happen is you spend a ton of money on a multi-$1,000 program or online course, essentially, to learn how to do property videos that might get you attention and help you earn a little bit more money in the short term, sure. In the long term, it detracts away from the purpose of selling real estate, because us as media creators, we're always trying to do more and more fancy things. We're trying to learn, we're trying to do cooler edits, we're trying to get more attention, feel cooler about the things that we produce. But real estate isn't that. That's not what real estate is in general. You can get creative with it, you can make it look really, really nice, but once it encroaches on the territory of taking away from the property itself, because all of what we do as real estate photographers, as real estate videographers, as drone operators that are in real estate, everything we do is only for the express purpose of getting the property sold. So that's why we don't charge, $10,000 per property, is because the agents that we work with, their goal is to have high turnover, so that they're doing a listing this month, they're doing a listing next month, and then they come back to you. So $1,000, $700, $500, $600, whatever per property is more than good enough, because hey, if I kill this one, I'm going to get on the next one. But if you focus on doing all these really crazy hype videos that, might be, they are really impressive, don't get me wrong, and this is where the whole, all of this to explain is so difficult, because they are good videos. But for the purpose of real estate, selling a piece of property, they detract, because it goes more into the creative side. The look what I can do, the look at how expensive my gear is, look at how well I know how to edit. And there are some agents that will really like that they are like, oh, I want to stand out, yeah. And that does capture attention, yes. But by and large, for most 95% of real estate applications, a boring video done well will be far more useful to you, your business, and your clients than learning how to do these hype videos. So you can take aspects of these and be like, I really want to learn how to do a smooth zoom transition. So then you look up a tutorial in Final Cut Pro and you're like, oh, okay, so I have this you know, I film a really long take and I go as smooth as I possibly can, and then I go, I put it to 50% speed, I go to here, you know, where I want this, the speed ramp rather, to start, and I'm gonna hit Shift B, and I'm gonna go to here where I want to end, you hit Shift B again, and then you're gonna change the speed to 20x, and then you know, drag the little markers over here to smooth out the transition, and then you add motion blur to it, and then you're done. Like that's an editing technique, yes, and it's good to learn, and you know, you always want to be advancing these things. But even if you have the capabilities and the knowledge and the know-how and like the desire to do these really crazy videos, you have to have the extra knowledge and the expertise of knowing when to not and when to do it. Like if you, for instance, like a good place to do this would be like for your portfolio, or if you have like a really big, nice luxury listing that's like 11,000 square feet or whatever, and you really want to hype it away, film 2 videos. You film the hype edit as a way to like, wow, look at what this person can do. It's a showcase of your skills. It's nothing to do with the property anymore. It's look how good I filmed this property. Look how good I am at everything that I am. That I do. And then you film another one for your agent to actually market with, which is going to be the full walkthrough. That does look nice. You can still do reveal shots. You can still do cinematic, you know, you could do black bars on top to make it widescreen. You could do motion blur. You can do all that stuff, but don't crank it to 1,000, because for all intents and purposes, the fundamental purpose of these hype videos, for Daniel Bertolo at least, for the property videographer, TPV, the property videographer, I think his program is called. So if you're interested, shout out, go spend $5,000 and learn how to do these videos, sure. But the main purpose of him uploading those videos is to show people on YouTube, like, look what I can do, look at what I can teach you to do. Now that'll be $5,000, please. So it's a business thing for him, and he's like, I'm credit where credit's due. He revolutionized the real estate property video industry, but not necessarily for the better. Like he's putting these skills in the hands of people that don't understand when to do these crazy edits and when to not do these crazy edits. So I just wanted to touch on that just a little bit. So if you're ever, you know, viewing these property videos online and you know, feeling down about what you produce because it's not that good, like, aim to get better, sure, definitely, but understand that these types of videos have a specific purpose, and it's not generally the thing that you want to do for 95% of single family dwelling real estate property for sale, because our only goal is to do a good enough job to get this property sold, like provide the marketing materials to the realtor that they can sell the property. So that can be done, and then they can move on to the next one and get you another listing. So it's a high turnover. You focus on getting it done. You focus on getting it good enough. And this is one more point that I talk about in the course, is that if you are a real estate photographer who also does video, your videos don't have to be incredible. My videos, because I try to get them done really, really quickly, I'd say they're like 80% good. And that's fine, because the realtors are getting an entire marketing package alongside that video, so it can be 80% good. It doesn't have to be show-stoppingly incredible. But if you are wanting to get into real estate videography as, you know, I am a real estate videographer, then you're gonna have to do 100% every single time. So whereas when I film the video, I've already been there for an hour and I'm tired and I wanna get out of there because I wanna wrap up, and I still have to do drone right after, so I'm just pumping through the video. I film that and it's delivered alongside a package. And so they have everything to market with. But if you're a videographer only and you are going to a property to film a video, it has to be incredible. Now, when I'm hired to do property videos specifically, and I'm not doing all these other, you know, marketing packages, those videos turn out better because I spend more time on them, because I go into the property, I spend some time actually preparing and deciding what I want to film, rather than just going through and just filming everything to, you know, on autopilot and then editing it later. But there's those two paths. Real estate photographer who does video, you can get away with not as incredible of a result, because it's the overall quality of all the materials that you're delivering that will impress a client. Versus a real estate videographer only, you have to show up with the best equipment. You have to show up with, you know, you got to do a bunch of different stuff. You got to make sure that it's a showstopper. And that's where a lot of these more hype videos have kind of fallen into is because they're real estate videographers only, that they're like, I need to do something to stand out. But that's become the norm now. It's like anybody can learn how to do those, so they're not really special anymore. So I give it like a year before, you know, it kind of fizzles out of popularity, or something else that, you know, pops up that's the next thing. So like I said, no disrespect to the property videographer course, and if you're interested in that, absolutely go and learn how to do those videos. But I think, like, if you spend $5,000 on the course and another $5,000 on gear, and you're 10 grand into it, and you're expecting that, like, the types of videos that those are will have just clients just pouring over to you, I think you're gonna be surprised that most agents, like if they're a younger realtor, sure, if they're, you know, 27, 28, 29 or below, then yeah, they might hire you because they're like, wow, these are awesome, you killed it, dude. But most realtors that do a lot of work, that they're 55, 60, 70 years old, they're gonna know that that's probably not the type of property that they, like the type of marketing materials they wanna be using. That's not to say it isn't bad, that's not to say it isn't good, but that's the purpose of it. If you wanna cast the widest net as possible, boring videos done well is gonna make you a whole lot more money in the long term as these really crazy hype videos. I like them, they're fun to watch, don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy them, but for the purposes of what we do on a day-to-day basis, it's not really where we want to be. So if you're interested in Property Video 101, where I teach you how to do these, you know, I don't want to say how to do these really boring videos, because that's just the first step of it, is getting into it, and then we expand on it, do a little bit more advanced, a little bit more fancy things, but it still stays within the realm of keeping the property first. If you want to learn how to do that super easily, I've got the Property Video 101 online course that is available. You can click the link down below. There should be a coupon for $100 off if you get on the landing page. So I hope to see you there, and lots more fun stuff coming. Now that the course is done, I'm gonna be posting a whole lot more. I took like a month-and-a-half hiatus, sorry. But yeah, I'm stoked to be back. Good to see you, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.